Around 100,000 Bangladeshi Catholics crammed into a park in central Dhaka, cheering and chanting viva Papa, long live the Pope, as Francis was driven through the crowd in an open-sided popemobile made specially for the occasion. Shortly after arriving from neighbouring Myanmar late on Thursday, he urged the world to take decisive measures to resolve the crisis that has forced more than 620,000 Rohingya Muslims fleeing ethnic unrest across the border into overstretched camps in Bangladesh. The comments marked his first explicit reference to the persecuted Muslim minority since the start of his diplomatically fraught tour. But as in Myanmar, he avoided using the term Rohingya, seen as incendiary to some in the Buddhist-majority country who deny they are a distinct ethnic group. Security was tight for Friday's mass, which follows a rise in attacks on religious minorities in Bangladesh by Islamist extremists. Mainly Muslim, Bangladesh has a tiny Christian population, but they turned out in large numbers for Friday's service, many having queued for hours to get into the park where some 4,000 police and security forces had been deployed. "I feel like I am blessed to join the Pope's prayers," said 60-year-old widow Pranita Mra, who had traveled from her village in northeastern Bangladesh. "I'll pray for my late husband and parents so that they go to heaven. I hope the Pope will pray for peace and harmony among all communities in Bangladesh." Tapan Martin, 42 and from Dhaka, said he hoped the Pope's prayers would help the Rohingya refugees who have arrived in Bangladesh in their hundreds of thousands since a crackdown by the Myanmar military that began in August. "We have come to see our great leader. We hope he can help our poor country as well as the Rohingya who have come here," he told AFP. "When I meet him, I would like to tell him about our plight, about how Myanmar's military tortured us, killed us, raped our women, about the kind of persecution we have been facing." Abul Fayaz, 35-year-old refugee teeming camps. Francis has praised Bangladesh for giving refuge to the Rohingya who have flooded and bringing stories of horrific abuse at the hands of the Myanmar military and local Buddhist mobs, including rape, arson and murder. He called on the world to offer immediate material assistance to Bangladesh, an already overcrowded country where 1 in 4 live below the poverty line, to address their urgent human needs. Later on Friday he will speak with 16 Rohingya refugees, including 2 children, who have traveled to Dhaka from the teeming camps on the border to meet him. "When I meet him, I would like to tell him about our plight, about how Myanmar's military tortured us, killed us, raped our women, about the kind of persecution we have been facing," 35-year-old refugee Abul Fayaz told AFP in Cox's Bazar, where the camps are located. "We want him to help us get Rohingya citizenship, ensure our safety, help us move freely to wherever we want, and most importantly make a way so we can say our prayers with freedom like they Buddhists do." Although the influx has slowed, hundreds of Rohingya refugees are still crossing into Bangladesh from Myanmar every day, according to the United Nations. Francis will also meet Muslim, Hindu and Buddhist leaders during his 3 days in the country. His visit comes days after the disappearance of a Catholic priest in the same village where suspected Islamist extremists set a Catholic grocer to death last year. Walter William Rosario, 40, had been making arrangements for some 300 Catholics to travel to Dhaka for the Pope's Mass. Since 2015, at least 3 Christians, including 2 converts from Islam, have been led to death in attacks blamed on Islamist militants. Christians make up less than 0.5% of Bangladesh's population of 160 million, and community leaders say some have left as it becomes more difficult to practice their faith openly.